Thank you for staying with us. We're talking about the issue of Buhari's appointment, and of course, the issue of corruption also is on the table. And join us in all of these conversations. Of course, go to your Twitter handles and start tweeting, telling us your thoughts. Joining the conversation, the hashtag is there, hashtag Buhari's appointment. I have joining me in the studio to weigh in more on these issues, legal practitioner and the president of Aki Kenya, Barrister Godi Uwazurike. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
And also a policy analyst and economist, Mr. Galtima, Liman. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
It's a pleasure.
Lot of loads and of comments about the issue of the appointments. Let me start from you. You're a president of a socio-political group of people from the southeastern region of the country who are professionals
and
the south side, and they've been talking about this issue. Are there any kind of grievances from your people on these appointments? 30 of them so far, 0 from the southeastern region of the country. Any grievance?
Well, I wouldn't call it grievance, but I would say we are surprised. Because he is the president, President Muhammadu Buhari is the chief executive of Nigeria. The president of Nigeria takes no instructions from any higher authority except God. Now, he is the president for all parts. And if there are 6 zones in this country, one zone is excluded completely, and that zone is just very partial, or partially given one small position, and others have everything. Naturally, there must be element of surprise, anger, disappointment, all of them rolled into one. And even now, nobody knows what is really happening. Nobody has explained to us, not even the chief press secretary. Is it true that they are still relying on the voting pattern of an election that ended 6 months ago? Or are you going to say, look, please hold on, I'm coming. I know the chief press secretary answered the question, there will be other appointments. Yes, but those who have all these positions now, when the other appointments come, for instance, the ministers, there's those who will also have ministers. Southeast will not have more ministers than others. So, Section 14 of the Constitution is very clear. And the Section 169 you already mentioned is also clear. Balancing of federal appointments. In fact, a section of the Constitution even listed them, from colonels upwards, from directors, from DGs, and all office holders. In other words, what we have been practicing since 1999 is what the Constitution says we should continue to practice. It's not a question of whether you like, whether you don't like. Obasanjo did not get votes from Southwest in 1999.
From the Southeast?
Southwest in 1999, Obasanjo, yet he gave the positions. In this last government that left, Jonathan didn't get votes from the far north. He gave them positions. So nothing stops you from seeing the country as one. As a matter of fact, the president is the chief unity maker. In his entourage, you must have people from all sides, not just those who are close to you, those who are from your side. And so otherwise, if you make me president, I have enough people in my family to give key positions. But if the Constitution says balance it, observe federal character, then you have to obey.
All right, interesting. A lot of Nigerians are also talking about this, and the fact remains, Mr. Liman, give us an insight. You understand issues of policy. Is it too early to call about the issue of regionalism and ethnic bias on the side of the president with 30 appointments in the day, 90-something days into his administration? Too early, or is it a right call?
Well, I was opportune to have attended President Buhari's swearing-in ceremony. And as a Muslim, in addition to the swearing supporting the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as a Muslim, when you swear by the Holy Quran, which is what he did, and which I made it as a point to make sure that I've attended it. I don't want somebody to give me a second story about it. And I was also privileged to attend that of Yaradua. The idea behind this statement is that the Holy Quran is a very, very serious document you know, a very, very serious holy book for a Muslim president. I don't expect him to violate what he had said, that I'm for everybody and for nobody. And what we have right now, like the chief press secretary had said, is work in progress, WIP. You know, it's too premature for us to say it's tilted this way or tilted that way. We need to see the totality of the picture that is coming out. And i.e., he said by September, I'll roll out the totality of this thing. But mind you, if analysis is being done properly, I'm not sure whether you are saying that there was no appointment for somebody from the Southeast. I want to see and still believe that the NNPC itself, which I don't know, I'm not sure whether the NNPC is...
the NNPC is from Delta State, from the South.
Yeah, but South, okay, South.
Remember, he is the nominee of the American government.
No, I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. You know, I can't fathom a guess. But you see, 80% of the wealth of the nation, if you're controlling 80% of the wealth of the nation, is NNPC. And a lot of people have even said within the northern hierarchy, said, look, it appears that when he did this critical appointment, it all went essentially to the South-South or Southeast. I don't know, it's now that you're saying South-South and all that kind of thing. You have the GMD, which is actually the man who is cooking the soup together with the president. It comes to crude oil allocation and all that kind of. So it's a critical post. I'm not saying that as a president, that balance, you know, the hue and cry that has been made will inevitably make him to sit up and say, hey, I had sworn by the Holy Quran, which is what I've said, and I also align myself with the fact that, you know, you need to carry everybody along with you. That's absolutely very important for the democratic process and all that, and even his political party. But again, you need to give it to His Excellency, President Buhari. He said, look, the problem I'm having is, I've been in this game for too long, and the lists and people that I thought I could appoint for key positions, now that I'm sitting down and having critical information about them provided to me by the security agencies, I'm a lot disappointed about what I'm seeing. So the few ones that he has taken, for instance, the chief of staff, for instance, I personally know him as somebody who, when he was in UBA, I think it was at UBA as an MD,
UBA.
You know, and a lot of people, he comes from Borno State, and from Bama, and a lot of people have identified him as a very loyal and committed person to the transparency issues, anti-corruption issue. And he's been with Buhari even as early as the 2003 when he came for the election. And so he's been consistent. And he also symbolizes purity and anti-corruption, even the manner he dresses. You see him most of the time he's in white and with a red cap, and you can easily identify him. And everybody who knows Kerry tells you that, yes, this man is, even when he was a banker, you know, he's been Mr. Clean and all this his life. You know, I think so for the inner cabinet, given the kind of his posture, he's beginning to say to the bigger community that, look, irrespective of whichever political party, I want to start with people that I'm confident about for the kitchen cabinet. Subsequently, maybe you will now look at the other issues and all that kind of thing.
Mr. Liman, just for a moment, let me show you this. If my producer will bring it up on the screen. It's a breakdown in terms of percentage, in terms of numbers. Just maybe you might change your mind about your thoughts about this issue. Let's take a look at it now. How this spread come about, who gets what and what region gets what. And when we talk about regional balance in terms of the adherence to the Nigerian Constitution, and this is what we have so far, so good. It's 30 appointments so far, and from it all, the number of appointments that goes to the northwestern region is 13, making 43%, and northeastern region getting 6 and 20%, the north center 3 and 10%, southwest 3, 10%, south 5, 17%, but southeast 0%, 0 appointment, 0%. If you are from the southeast,
I would be worried. I would be worried. Absolutely, I would be worried. I would be worried, and that's what I'm saying. That this observation will suddenly send a clarion call to His Excellency to begin to look at how he can bring that regional balance that I'm saying, irrespective of all these sycophants that used to say, "Hey, Jonathan used to have a lot more tilted towards the south, particularly to Bayelsa people and all that kind." You know, you don't look at you know, the mistake done by the past and say, okay, if they had done it before, we could do it, you know. So that kind of thinking is absolutely not helping the national unity, the cause of the national unity.